we're gonna do a really cool drill that I teach to all my female clients in my women's kickboxing class. And so basically, these are exercises you can do when you're traveling or at home, and I'm gonna break it down, okay? So these are kind of floor routine. If you do gymnastic, wrestling, you're kind of familiar with it. If you have not done it before, it's okay. Message me. I will send you YouTube videos. I break it down to details, okay? So the first one we're gonna do is we're gonna go from a table position to a sit-out. Now, if you're a wrestler, you're gonna do a sit-out a little bit differently. In this case, we're gonna do a sit-out that engages the groin muscle and forces you to hold your body weight. So a wrestler sit-out is more functional in the sense of trying to spin around the opponent's back. In this case, that's not a goal. Our goal is to learn to control our body and stretch our groin muscle. So it's gonna look like this. Table position, and how you do it is you're gonna make sure your knee is underneath your hip line. If your knee is too far from your hip line, you will lose the mobility. If your knee is inside your hip line, it's too tight, it's too compressed. So your knee should be like that, okay? So that's the first thing you want to do, okay? And I'm gonna introduce the routine first. You're gonna kick your leg out a little bit. So you see how I kick out, okay? Or you can have it out already. So I'm gonna kick out, turn your knee up to the ceiling, release the pressure on your shoulder, sit out, come back, and other side, okay? So it looks like this. Now in any case, you wanna think about points of contact. So in this case, I have 4 points of contact. We're gonna kick our leg out, turn to our knee. Now my knee's to the ceiling. I'm gonna pull my palm to my chest. We're gonna stylize it by making it look nice by bringing it to our chest. So I call this the Buddha palm. And I'm gonna slide my leg across. So if you draw a line here and here, we're basically forming a letter X. And then we come back. And then other side. Okay, other side. Now, if you want a good stretch on your groin muscle, think of you're looking at 12 o'clock, you want to kick your leg to 11 and 1. So this is 12. I'm going to kick my leg toward 11 and 1, not 6 and 7. Okay, because we're not concerned about functionality right now, we're more concerned about getting a nice stretch on our groin muscle. So 1, 2, yep, 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay, so let's do this with me at home. We're gonna try to do it maybe 24 times, okay? Okay, so if you already know how to do this or you want to make it more intense, what you're going to do is you're going to speed up in certain part of the move routine. And so what differentiates between an artist or elite athlete with an average person is the ability to decelerate and accelerate. An average person cannot do that. So if you want to know if you're really good at an art, you want to see how you can manipulate the little tools that you have. So if you have a paintbrush, you want to figure out how thick you can make that paintbrush, or how thin with that same paintbrush without using a different paintbrush. So same thing with this routine. We're going to slow down a certain area and speed up in a certain area. Okay, so that means our body is very in tune with our movement. So we're here. Now watch what I'm going to do. Instead of planting it and starting at the same speed, same rate, we're going to accelerate. Boom. I'm going to slow and then accelerate. Slow and then accelerate. So the acceleration, the syncopation part, is the exchange of your feet. Okay? So we go from one way. As we get to here, we're starting it from a different direction, and that's when we switch. So think of it as a marathon. not a marathon, a relay race, the exchange is super important. Okay, so the exchange is at the highest level. How they exchange the baton, a huge game changer for who's going to win the race. Okay, so how we exchange. Okay, so let's do 24. But if you want a better workout, work on the exchange. Okay, so let's give this a try. Okay, see how I'm exchanging? It's much more tiring. Okay, so try to do it with me. If you can't do it at that speed, do it at the same speed, and then try to speed up on the exchange. Okay, let's do 8 more. Okay, watch the release. You got to pull that shoulder out. If you don't, you cannot thread this leg through. So if you're having a hard time at home, it's because you're not releasing your shoulder. Okay? All right. Okay. So if you do this, just even for 2 minutes, it's pretty tiring, and especially if you get a nice stretch in your groin muscle. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to do another movement called Tibetan tabletop. You can also call, it's also called a dancer's bridge. There's probably a dozen names for it. And we're going to do that move, and then we're going to combine it with the sit-out. And then you have this really nice, beautiful movement. That's pretty cool. And I'm not an expert in these type of movement, but these are the 2 movements that I picked up that I do that really allow me to get a good workout. So the next movement is called the Tibetan tabletop. Okay, it's a little bit different than the dancer's bridge. With the dancer's bridge, you will have your feet extended. With the tabletop, you will have both support system. So we're here. You're gonna kick over. You're gonna slowly pull out, and you're gonna do a single hand tricep dip. You're gonna come back up, and you're gonna slowly pull, so you get a nice stretch. You're gonna do a single leg downward dog. You're gonna replace, other side, kick over, don't let it drop, control your motion, let it pull you, okay, slowly down, back up, draw a nice arc, single leg downward dog. If you want, you can do single leg downward dog motion, drop, other side. So I'm not happy just kicking my leg over. I want to draw a nice arc so that I'm forced to stretch my side hip motion out. Okay? So watch again. Okay, so give this a try. If you want to kind of if you want me to give you pointers and stuff, shoot a video or message me. Okay, so let's do this 8 times, and then we're going to put it together. Okay, before I talk about the dancer's bridge, so some of you guys might be doing a dancer's bridge. So a dancer bridge, it looks like this. 1, and you extend your leg. Okay, so we don't want, for this move, we don't want our legs to get extended. Okay, and then back. 1, see how I'm extending my leg, and then back. Okay, so I don't like that one as much. I don't think it's as functional. But if you want to do that one, that's fine. Just understand that you're controlling your body, right? So you're controlling that movement. So if you're doing the dancer's bridge, because your mind wants to do the dancer's bridge, okay? So Let's do 8 times. Okay, so what we're going to do next is we're going to blend the two moves together. We're going to blend in Tibetan tabletop with the dancer's bridge. So set out with the Tibetan tabletop. Okay, so here's the reason why we don't do the dancer's bridge, because it doesn't blend into that set out. Okay, so it looks like this. 1, plant your foot, and then do the second move. 2, come back, plant your foot. 1, plant your foot, plant your hand. 2. Okay, so let's give this a try for about 8 times. Okay, let's give this a try. Okay, we're going to make it fun and stylistic. We're going to make minor adjustment with our feet. That way you can speed it up. As you speed up, your body will try to make minor adjustment. And that's okay, because you want your body to be in tune with that. Okay? So the ability to make minor adjustment without freaking out is a hallmark of adaptability. If you're too rigid, it's no good. And so sometimes when I train people, I watch for that. The people who are too rigid, they actually think they have a good thing, when in fact, someone like me who will train my fighters to fight them will exploit that. So you want to be solid in your value, but have adaptability, okay? So we're going to do it fast now. We're going to do sit out into the Tibetan tabletop, and I'm going to speed it up and just watch the little variations that I do, okay? And you can speed it up, you can slow down, you can tighten a certain area, make a certain area wider, okay? And you can do this right. Trust me, 2 minutes, you're going to have an awesome workout, okay? So I'm going to put on some music. We're just going to do it for 2 minutes, and then time. Okay, and go. Okay, push yourself. The song's almost over. More seconds. If you don't know how to do it, just move on the floor.